Martin Loft est de la Première Nation Mohawk de Kahnawake. Son domaine de prédilection sont la photographie, la gravure et l'artisanat. Il est un des membres fondateurs de l'Association des photographes autochtones indiens et inuits, le NIIPA, 1985 à l'an 2000. Un regroupement influent d'artistes autochtones à qui l'on voit Vision, la première conférence et l'exposition itinérante internationale sur la photographie autochtone. Donc, Martin, il va présenter en anglais.
Kujokwa, Mosiyos ne Ganigariwasa, de Watadega, Wela Nora, the Waxanoda, ne Ganyakahaga Najatodo. Good morning and bonjour. My name, as she said, is Martin Loft. I'm a craftsperson, an artist, public program supervisor at the Ganyakahaga Unwawana Rauti Jokwa Language and Cultural Center. And I've come here today primarily to talk about the work that we do in Kahnawake. And so that's what I'm basically here for. So what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the Cultural Center. The Ganyakahaga Unwawana Rauti Jokwa Language and Cultural Center was established in 1978 and was created to preserve, enrich, and enhance the language and culture of the Ganyakahaga, or Mohawk people of Kahnawake. Our mission is to lead and support all Kahnawake Ronu, people who are from or live in Kahnawake, are from Kahnawake, to practice, maintain, respect, and renew and enhance Ganyakeha beliefs, values, customs, traditions through the delivery and sharing of cultural and educational activities which ensure the continued existence of our present and future generations as Ganyakahaga peoples. That's a tall order, I know, it sounds like it, I'm sure. But we managed, and we've made many attempts and we've had many successes over the 33 years that we've been in existence. I would like to describe today some of the activities and programs the Center coordinates in terms of culture and language revitalization and contemporary and traditional arts. My hope is to give you an understanding of our Center's mission and to offer you a snapshot of the ways we engage our community, visitors, and the wider society outside our borders, I guess like today. I'd like to discuss also like to discuss some of the collaborations we've undertaken with various cultural institutions and organizations within Kahnawake, regionally and internationally. I guess our longest one is with Land Insights, with Terre Zanveux. We've been involved with Montreal First Peoples Festival for many years now, and with other organizations as well. In our center, we've established speaker series, a lecture series. We've brought many scholars and authors and historians to our community to discuss the projects and publications and research that they've done. Our center is a strong advocate of traditional crafts. We offer workshops, art workshops, demonstrations. We have a community art gallery. We've been involved in international exhibitions, and again with Andre and the Film Festival. And we've participated and been involved with the revisioning of the Americas through Indigenous Cinema Symposium. This past year, I believe, was our third year, so we've been very active in that area. Our center houses a museum and interpretation center. We've been involved in large cultural events like our Kahnawake Powwow that our cultural center established in 1991, and we continue to be involved in our Iroquois Social, which is one of the bigger cultural events in our community every summer. Our cultural center also is a school. It's a language school. We host a Mohawk immersion program. It's a 2-year intensive Mohawk language immersion program. We produce television programming for the Mohawk children, the Mohawk language. We host a language conference. We collect oral histories, and we're involved in cultural awareness and activities along those lines. One of the things that I mentioned earlier, and I'll just go over my things here about our speaker series. Many of you may know that our people, I'll speak about Indigenous people in North America, have been studied by scholars and historians from all over the world, locally, nationally, internationally. And particularly with the Iroquois people and with the Six Nations, we probably are one of the most studied and most recorded by non-Indigenous people, going back to Jacques Cartier's time and the Jesuits and right up until this day. And what we've noticed at our library and our research center is that it used to be a one-way street in the sense that the authors and researchers would come into the communities, interview people, write books, or do research from afar about our people and publish them, and the world would know about us through these people. And rarely, if ever, were they asked to come back to the communities to explain themselves, to sit in front of people, to discuss some of the issues that are brought up. And about 15 years ago, Brian Deere, that was our librarian and the fellow who set up our system at our cultural, in fact was one of our previous directors, set about a program to, I guess in a sense, track down a lot of these authors, a lot of these researchers, and ask them to come to our community to give presentations and to take questions and to engage with the community. And so we've carried on that tradition, and we have brought in a number of authors and researchers. I don't know if people are interested in Iroquois topics and language and history and culture. Anybody know about the Wampum Chronicles? Darren Bonaparte has put together an awesome web resource. So it's wampumchronicles.com. Darren is he's a very eloquent speaker about our history and culture and tradition. He has been to our cultural center many times and given presentations to young people and old people and generally just about everybody that is interested in our history. We've invited archaeologists like Francis Scardera, who's working with the Mohawks of Akwesasne right now, doing research on some of the islands, and he's, in a sense, I believe he's like an employee. He's not an archaeologist from the government or from an outside agency that the council hires him. So he has a very I wouldn't say sympathetic, but I mean I think he hears what people are saying. So he's doing archaeology in a very interesting way. We've invited historian Alan Greer, who wrote about Gadri de Gakwita and the Jesuits. Gadri de Gakwita, again, one of the most documented Indigenous women anywhere. He's from Ganawagid. She was recently canonized in Rome, and so she's an official saint in the Catholic Church. We've invited him to come in and talk with us as well. Carl Ben, who's a historian who wrote the book Mohawks on the Nile, about a contingent of Mohawk men in the 1880s who traveled down the River Nile to assist the British and so on. And in Ganawagid, many people know the story, but he came back with solid research and explained himself and took questions, and it was very interesting talks. Gerald Alfred has been to our cultural center. Of course, Gerald is a Mohawk scholar from Ganawagid who teaches at the University with UVic in British Columbia in the Indigenous governance program, and he's authored several books, and he's coming to talk about his book, Heeding the Voices of Our Ancestors. Audra Simpson was our most recent visitor. She's the author of Mohawk Interruptus, Political Life Across Borders of Settler States. Kevin Sweeney, Captors and Captives, about the raid on Deerfield in the 1700s. John Mohawk, I'll just go on here. Alan Downey, who's done lacrosse. Deborah Harry, and not Blondie, Deborah Harry, if anybody's whatever. It's the great eco-warrior of the Paiute Nation, who's been to Ganawagid many times to talk about biocolonialism and what is it called now? Bioprospecting, the kind of use of DNA of Indigenous people. She's gone a long way. Stephen Newcomb, who's the author of Pagans in the Promised Land, Decoding the Doctrine of Discovery, to name a few. Anyhow, to go on. So we have a program where we bring authors in, bring scholars in, and we sit and talk with them, and if people have a question or a bone to pick and everything, it's a very interesting way on a community level to get your word to them, so that I think in the end they become better scholars and we become more informed, and there's a little bit of responsibility, I would say. We also have a series of, we don't exclude our traditional teachers as well, because we carry with us individually and collectively, you know, vast amounts of wisdom from our ancestors, and many of the people continue to do these talks in longhouses and in ceremonies and in public events and in day-to-day interactions. Tom Porter, who's a Mohawk faith keeper and he was a traditional chief, has been to our cultural center and has given many talks over the years about various topics, from the creation